This is a very down-to-earth radio announcer. Can you believe he's a ruthless drug dealer? In the blink of an eye, he can kill two people in a row, and even want to blame his wife. The story begins with the great Detective Poirot, who can be called a walking preview of murder. Whenever he appears, it's either a dead person or an accident. On this day, his friend Hastings coaxed and lured him to a masquerade party. But Poirot never expected that he would witness another bizarre murder. At the ball, Poirot's eyes were drawn to the 6 strangely dressed guests on the second floor. The host introduced that these 6 people cause an Italian comedy, led by your son Lord King, and with him in a couple's outfit is his girlfriend Coco. Coco relies on her boyfriend's money, works late, and leaves early at the radio station, and is arrogant and domineering. Next to him was Lord Kang's uncle, Uncle Kang, and his female companion, Mrs. Hua, who wanted to marry into a wealthy family. Finally, there is a couple in white costumes, Mac and Mac. The clothes are also dotted with green pom-pom. Just then, there was a quarrel downstairs. It turned out that Lord Kang and his girlfriend Coco had a falling out. In order to anger her boyfriend, Coco took her colleague Mike to dance in public. Let him take himself home. Rather, Mike actually agreed in one go and left his wife's sister Maya aside. The scene was very embarrassing for a time. Towards the end of the dance, Mrs. Flower came to ask Poirot to dance and was rejected. Just make do with Hastings. But as soon as she took 2 steps, she saw Lord Kang on the second floor, immediately left the dance partner and ran up with a happy smile. However, it didn't take long for a harsh scream to come from the second floor. Mrs. Flower rushed downstairs, rolling and crawling, saying that Lord Kang had been killed. Poirot and Hastings rushed to the second floor at once. I saw Lord Kang collapsed in the lounge, with a knife in his chest, already dead of breath. An old acquaintance, Inspector Garp, arrived soon, and there were no fingerprints at the scene. But the victim had a small tin box of cocaine in his pocket. Strangely enough, the newspapers said the next day that Lord Kang was the chairperson of the Anti-Addiction League. And this is magic. What's worse, Lord Kang's estate will be inherited by his uncle, Uncle Kang. Unexpectedly, a wave of unresolved waves rose again. Police found that Coco, the girlfriend who had quarreled with Lord Kang the night before, had also died in her home. Cause of death was a drug overdose. Meanwhile, the forensic doctor pried open Lord Kang's clenched fist and found a green pom-pom inside. This stuff is only available on the McGonagall's costumes. The case is instantly confusing. Poirot reasoned that Lord Kang, as the anti-addiction chairman, must have discovered that his girlfriend was taking drugs and the two had an argument. However, Coco's death was an accident. The real murderer is among the McGonagall couple. Poirot immediately took the men to Mike's house. Mrs. Mike lied that the costume was sent for washing, but her dodging eyes betrayed her. Poirot took advantage of his unpreparedness to open the wardrobe, and 2 sets of costumes were lined up. And Sister Mai's one happened to be missing a green pom-pom. The evidence is overwhelming, but Sister Mai is still quibbling. Poirot didn't expose her, but decided to make a big news. He contacted the radio station to do a live investigation and uncover the truth, in front of an audience all over the UK. In the studio, Poirot invited all the people involved and directly identified the murderer as Mike. It turned out that Mike was a drug dealer who sold cocoa drugs. On the night of the dance, he was afraid that Lord Kang would find out about his drug trafficking, so he became murderous. He first murdered Lord Kang and hid the body in the dressing room. As the victim struggled, a pom-pom was ripped from his body. Then he sent Coco home and induced her to take an excessive amount of drugs, causing her accidental death, killing 2 birds with 1 stone, in order to create an alibi. This scheming man actually bought another costume exactly like Lord Kang's. He pretended to be the deceased and hung around on the second floor, deliberately letting Mrs. Hua and others see him, to create the illusion that Lord Kang was still alive. When Mrs. Hua went upstairs, He dragged the body out and hid it himself. After everyone was attracted to the corpse, he slipped away. However, Skynet is in full swing, and his self-righteous perfect crime has left 3 major flaws. First, the zombie stiffness of the corpse proved that the time of death was much earlier than when it was discovered. Second, Lord Kang is right-handed, and when McGonagall impersonated him, he subconsciously used his left hand. The most deadly thing is that, in order to frame his wife, he cut the pom-pom from his wife's costume and added it to his own clothes. But I don't know that the incision of the scissors is completely different from the marks of violent tearing, which was seen through by Poirot at a glance. In the face of ironclad evidence, Mike collapsed on the spot and confessed to all his crimes. Poirot wanted to use this live broadcast to save his reputation, but unexpectedly the audience called to complain. To say that the detective's accent is too corny is to bring down the show. Poor Poirot, the case was solved, but his heart was broken, and he was too angry to speak.